I was darn near 45 years old before I understood what a boundary actually was. Not the concept. I could have defined it for you at 25 if you'd asked me on a quiz. But actually living it, actually holding one when it cost me something, no. It took me way longer than it should have. And I think about that a lot. 45. That's most of a life gone by before I figured out something that, looking back, feels like it should have been obvious. See, growing up, nobody sat me down and said, hey, your peace matters, and you're allowed to protect it. What I got instead, and I don't think this is unique to me, I think a lot of us got some version of this, but it was the message that being agreeable was the same thing as being good. You keep the peace, you go along, you don't make things difficult for other people, even when other people are making things difficult for you. So that's what I did for decades. I said yes to things I didn't want to do. I stayed in conversations that were draining me dry. I let people talk to me in ways that, if I'm honest, I wouldn't let anybody talk to me now. And I told myself that was just what being a decent person looked like. You absorb it, you don't make waves, you keep everybody comfortable, even at your own expense. But here's the thing that took me 45 years to actually understand, not just know intellectually. Being agreeable and being at peace are not the same thing. I was agreeable for years. I was not at peace for years. Those two things were happening at the same time, and I thought they were the same thing, and they were not even close to the same thing. So what changed? Honestly, I got tired. Not tired in the dramatic one big moment kind of way. Tired the way you get tired of a leaky faucet after the 200th night of hearing it drip. It wasn't one conversation, one big blow up, one big betrayal that did it. It was just the slow accumulation of years of setting myself last over and over until one day I looked up and I realized I didn't recognize how depleted I let myself become. And I want to be real with you about something, because I think this is the part people skip over when they talk about setting boundaries, like it's some clean, empowering montage moment. It wasn't clean. It wasn't empowering in the moment. The first few times I actually held a boundary, said no to something I would have said yes to a year earlier, or told somebody flat out that a certain behavior wasn't going to fly with me anymore, it felt awful. It felt selfish. It felt like I was doing something wrong, even though logically I knew I wasn't. But I did it anyway, uncomfortable or not. And here's what I noticed after doing it enough times. The discomfort was temporary, and it got smaller every time. But the peace that came after it, that stuck around. That compounded. The more I protected my time, my energy, my actual capacity to function like a human being, the more of an actual life I had left over for the people and things that mattered. So now, at 50, I hold my boundaries different than I used to. And I'll tell you exactly how. I don't over-explain them anymore. I used to think I owed people a whole justification. Here's why I can't do this. Here's my reasoning. Please still like me after I tell you no. I don't do that anymore. If I can't, I can't. If something's not sitting right with me, I say so once, plainly, and I don't spend the next 3 days managing how the other person feels about it. And look, I'm not saying I'm somehow above people now, or that I've got it all figured out, or that I never feel guilty about it anymore, because I still do sometimes, if I'm being straight with you. Old habits don't fully die, they just get quieter. But I'd rather feel a little guilty for an afternoon than feel completely hollowed out for another decade, which is the trade I was making for most of my adult life without even realizing there was a trade happening at all. Here's what actually gets me though, thinking back on it. It's not that I didn't know boundaries existed. Everybody knows the word. It's that nobody ever told me peace was something I was allowed to prioritize over other people's comfort. Nobody ever said, hey, it's okay if protecting your own well-being makes somebody else a little uncomfortable sometimes. I had to learn that the hard way. In my 40s, after giving away probably 20 years, I can't get back. So if you're watching this and you're still in your 20s or 30s, still operating on the old programming, still thinking that being agreeable is the same as being good, still absorbing everything just to keep everybody else comfortable, I'm not going to hand you some 5-step plan to fix it. I don't have one. What I've got is just this. It doesn't have to take you until your 40s to figure this out. That's the only thing I'd actually want you to walk away with. Or perhaps you've already started setting your boundaries and protecting your peace. Let us know in the comments if you've had a similar experience to mine and how you handled it. And I'll see you in the next one.